Welcome to The Explainer. If you're an e-commerce executive or a business owner, you already know a really hard truth. Scaling revenue takes a whole lot more than just having great products on your site. It requires this incredibly powerful, practically invisible technology running silently beneath the surface of your storefront. So today, we're demystifying that exact technology. We're going to explore the high-performance banner ad engine. Which brings us directly to the hook of today's analysis. How do top e-commerce platforms actually scale their revenue using banner ads? Now notice I didn't ask how they make pretty images. We're looking at the automated, highly sophisticated systems that drive continuous, scalable revenue growth. We're talking about the interconnected platforms operating entirely in the background, making incredibly complex decisions in just a fraction of a second. Okay, let's dive into this. To really grasp this engine, we basically need to completely redefine our terms. High-performance banner ads are dynamic, structured visual communication layers. What that means is they use real-time updates and live data signals to distribute controlled content. We are definitely not talking about static images that someone uploaded once a month. Not at all. These are active, intelligent revenue drivers embedded seamlessly right into your ecosystem. To make all this actionable, we're following a structured system anatomy today. First, we'll look at the revenue engine, then jump inside the ad tech and see how we're targeting the right buyer. After that, we'll cover optimizing with data analytics, influencing shopper behavior, and finally, scaling the full system. Let's get to it. Starting off with part 1, the revenue engine. The core philosophy here is the major shift from static images to data-driven systems. Think about it. Static images just sit there. They remain completely fixed, meaning they basically become obsolete the second a product sells out, which, let's be honest, is a total nightmare for inventory management. Data-driven systems, on the other hand, adapt instantly. They function as this invisible layer beneath the storefront, responding to product feeds, pricing updates, and real-time inventory, making sure your content is always accurate across every single device. So the crucial point is how these dynamic layouts actually translate into real money. Essentially, banners create structured purchase pathways. By strategically placing these visual prompts in high-visibility zones, like your homepage headers or category transitions, the platform actively guides a user's browsing behavior. It dramatically reduces friction in navigation, supports much faster product discovery, and acts as a massive visibility amplifier for the exact inventory the platform wants to prioritize. Moving on to part 2, inside the ad tech. Let's look at the underlying machinery. Right, so here is the core infrastructure actually powering the operation. It's really a massive interconnected net. You've got data management systems centralizing user profiles and preferences. Then you have tracking pixels actively monitoring behavioral logs, things like scroll depth and individual clicks. And finally, API integrations make sure there's multi-channel synchronization. That basically ties your platform directly to external advertising networks, so your messaging stays completely uniform everywhere. And the wild thing is, all of this operates at terrifying speeds. Watch this connected sequence. Step 1, real-time bidding evaluates available ad space in milliseconds. Step 2, machine learning instantly detects behavior patterns in browsing frequency and product interest. And step 3, dynamic delivery jumps in to select the absolute optimal visual content. The system evaluates the space, understands the user, and serves the ad all in a fraction of a second. It's literally faster than you can blink. That takes us to part 3, targeting the right buyer. It's all about precision audience logic. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact inputs being used. The logic defining who sees what goes way, way beyond basic age and location demographics. The system evaluates demographic data, sure, but it heavily relies on behavioral interaction sequences, meaning exactly how a user navigates your site. It's actively hunting for purchase intent signals and contextual page relevance, ensuring the banner perfectly matches what the user is focused on right in that exact moment. Let's picture a real-world scenario to make this concrete. Say a shopper is browsing a category page. They click on a specific premium coffee maker, and they add it to their wish list. Boom! That is a massive intent signal. Immediately, behavioral triggers align the site's banners with that specific interaction, so as they navigate somewhere else on the site, the banners adjust. Their repeated engagement with that coffee maker increases similar banner exposure across the site, persistently keeping that high-intent item right in front of their eyes. Part 4. Optimizing with data analytics. Let's talk about continuous optimization. Think of these metrics as your executive dashboard. This is where we connect those abstract tech concepts straight to hard ROI. Click-through rates give you direct insight into visual relevance and your placement strategy.
Impressions monitor exposure frequency, keeping you from hitting audience saturation or causing ad fatigue. Conversions, of course, track downstream actions, proving the ad actually drove a sale, not just a surface-level click. And finally, engagement duration measures how long users stick around after clicking, which really validates the effectiveness of your landing page.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the concept of a structured feedback loop. See, the system isn't just generating reports for some human to read on a Monday morning. Every single impression is recorded, evaluated against interaction outcomes, and fed straight back into the machine learning models. The system autonomously leverages this data to adjust creative design, tweak placement strategies, and refine its targeting parameters entirely on the fly.
Which leads us nicely to part 5, influencing shopper behavior. Let's peel back the psychological layer.
It all begins with the principle of repeated exposure. When you place consistent product visuals in high traffic zones, like a massive homepage header, you build incredibly high recognition. Users encountering the same visually appealing products develop a familiarity that actively and almost subconsciously reduces their decision-making time during browsing. That elevated visibility naturally increases the probability that they're going to interact. And that repetition literally builds memory structures in the brain. When the contextual alignment of a dynamic banner perfectly matches what a user is already interested in during an active session, it significantly strengthens recall. Even if that shopper doesn't add the item to their cart today, this reinforced product messaging dramatically improves the chance of a return visit. You are quite literally planting a highly optimized seed. To summarize this psychological aspect, it really all hinges on contextual placement. Timely alignment between a user's interest and the displayed products drives significantly higher engagement rates. When the right banner meets the right user at the right moment of intent, it creates a perfectly smooth transition from just casual browsing right through to transactional completion. Okay, let's move to our final section and see how this builds into the fully connected revenue machine, scaling the full system. Let's bring this all together. This timeline maps out the entire life cycle of a successful interaction, bringing the whole system anatomy full circle. At exactly 0 milliseconds, data collection and profiling pull the user's signals. By 5 milliseconds, real-time bidding and machine learning targeting execute. At 10 milliseconds, the dynamic banner is actually delivered to the screen. Within 2 seconds, we see a click engagement. Fast forward to 3 minutes, the user moves through the purchase pathway to checkout conversion. And by 5 minutes, the analytics feedback loop has already processed the entire interaction to optimize the very next impression for the very next user. What that timeline represents is a massive, unified advertising pipeline. It's a continuous, self-improving ecosystem that never sleeps. It endlessly processes user signals, optimizes placements, and delivers highly personalized content at massive scale. This is a living, breathing framework designed entirely to scale your revenue upward while driving user friction downward. Which leaves us with a final provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. As you analyze your own digital storefront, how effectively is your underlying communication layer driving your revenue engine? Are you still relying on static images and just kind of hoping for the best? Or have you implemented a high-performance, self-optimizing system? Thank you so much for exploring this with me today, and I really hope this deep dive helps you look at your e-commerce tech stack through a completely new lens.